Marcus Whitfield stood in the gleaming marble lobby of the Preston Grand Hotel, his polished shoes reflecting the crystal chandeliers above. He built this empire from nothing. 32 luxury hotels across 3 continents. Forbes had just named him one of the most influential black entrepreneurs in America. But today, standing here with his phone pressed to his ear, none of that mattered. His son was crying in the background, and the woman he trusted with his life was about to shatter everything he believed was real. Hello friends, welcome to Black Byte Stories. Before we begin today's story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? We love hearing from our global family. Mr. Whitfield, you need to come home right now. Maria's voice trembled through the speaker. His housekeeper. The woman who'd raised him after his own mother passed. The woman who never panicked, ever. It's Miss Catherine. She's... Sir, please just come home. The line went dead. Marcus felt his chest tighten. He looked at the assembled investors waiting in the conference room. $200 million hung on this meeting. The expansion into Dubai depended on the next 2 hours. But Maria's voice, that fear, he'd never heard it before. He turned to his assistant. Cancel everything. I'm leaving. The drive from downtown Atlanta to his Buckhead estate took 17 minutes. Marcus broke every speed limit. His hands gripped the steering wheel so hard his knuckles turned white. His mind raced through possibilities. Was Elijah hurt? His son was only 9 months old. Healthy. Perfect. Catherine loved that boy. Didn't she? They were supposed to get married in 3 months. The invitations were already printed. Her face smiled from the engagement photos on his office desk. The gates opened automatically as his Range Rover pulled up. Marcus jumped out before the engine fully stopped. The front door was unlocked. He pushed through into the foyer. Silence, heavy and suffocating. Then he heard it. A woman weeping. Not Maria Catherine. Marcus moved toward the sound. His heart hammered against his ribs. He turned the corner into the living room and stopped cold. Catherine knelt on the Persian rug, her designer dress wrinkled and stained. Her perfectly styled blonde hair hung loose around her face. She was holding something. A manila envelope. Photographs spilled across the floor around her. Maria stood against the wall, arms crossed, her weathered face set in an expression Marcus had only seen once before, when his father's business partner tried to steal the company, protective, dangerous, ready for war. Catherine? Marcus's voice came out steady despite the chaos in his chest. She looked up. Her makeup ran in black streaks down her cheeks. For a moment she looked genuinely broken. Then something shifted in her eyes, something cold and calculating. She stood slowly, smoothing her dress. Marcus, you're home early. Her voice was different. Flat. Empty of the warmth he thought he knew. Maria called me. Said it was an emergency. Where's Elijah? Marcus moved toward the nursery down the hall. Catherine stepped in front of him. He's fine. Sleeping upstairs. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Maria overreacted. You know how she gets. Marcus looked at Maria. The older woman's jaw clenched. She shook her head once. A clear warning. Don't believe her. Marcus felt something crack open inside him. What's going on? What are those photographs? Catherine glanced down at the scattered images. She kicked one aside with her heel. Nothing that concerns you anymore. Her voice turned sharp, bitter. I was just leaving, actually. I'll send someone for my things. She tried to walk past him. Marcus caught her arm. Not hard, just enough to stop her. You're not going anywhere until you tell me what's happening. Catherine yanked her arm free. Her face twisted into something ugly. You want the truth, Marcus? Fine. Your precious son. Your perfect little heir. He's not yours. The words hit like a physical blow. Marcus stumbled back a step. What? His voice barely a whisper. Catherine laughed, cold and cruel. 9 months ago I met someone. Someone who didn't work 80 hours a week. Someone who actually paid attention to me. We had an affair. I got pregnant. And you were so desperate for a family you never even questioned it. Marcus's vision blurred at the edges. He looked at Maria. The older woman's eyes filled with tears, but she nodded. It was true. Marcus felt his knees weaken. He sat down hard on the arm of the couch. Elijah? He couldn't finish the sentence. Catherine grabbed her purse from the side table. I would have kept playing the part, married you, lived off your money. But he found out, the real father. He wants his son, and he wants the payout I promised him. Payout? Marcus forced his brain to work through the shock. Catherine sighed like he was a child who couldn't keep up. The prenup, Marcus. Once we were married, if he died, I'd get everything. All 32 hotels. The investment portfolio. Everything. We were going to stage an accident. Make it look natural. Heart attack, maybe. You worked too hard anyway. No one would question it. Marcus stood slowly. His hands shook, but his voice came out steady. You were going to kill me. It wasn't a question. Catherine shrugged. It was just business. Nothing personal. She headed for the door. Marcus looked at Maria. The older woman pulled her phone from her apron pocket. She held it up. The screen showed a recording in progress. She'd captured everything. Every word. You need to stop right there, Miss Catherine. Maria's voice cut through the room like a blade. Catherine froze. She turned slowly. Her eyes locked on the phone. You recorded me? Her voice rose to a shriek. That's illegal. You can't use that. Maria smiled, small and cold. Actually, in Georgia, one-party consent is perfectly legal for recordings. And I'm very much a party to this conversation. I've been listening to you plot murder in this house for 3 weeks now. Catherine's face went white, then red. You're lying. You're just a bitter old woman who hates that I was going to be Marcus's wife. Maria stepped forward. I'm the woman who raised Marcus after his mother died. I'm the woman who changed his diapers and made his school lunches and taught him how to be a good man. And I'm the woman who saw you sneaking phone calls in the middle of the night, who heard you talking to that man about insurance policies and staged accidents. Catherine looked at Marcus. Desperation replaced the coldness. Baby, she's insane. You know I love you. I would never hurt you. This is all a misunderstanding. Marcus felt nothing. Not anger, not pain. Just a vast emptiness where his future used to be. Where's Elijah? His voice was calm. Too calm. Catherine's mask slipped again. He's not your problem anymore. Where is my son? Marcus's voice exploded through the house. Catherine flinched. Upstairs. In the nursery. I already told you. Marcus moved past her. He took the stairs 3 at a time. The nursery door was closed. He pushed it open. The room was empty. The crib was empty. Elijah's favorite blanket was gone. His stuffed elephant. Gone. Everything. Gone. Marcus spun around. Catherine stood in the doorway. I told you, he's not yours. I had Rick pick him up an hour ago. He's with his real father now. Where he belongs. Marcus grabbed his phone. He dialed 911. His hands were steady now. Purpose replacing shock. I need to report a kidnapping. My son was taken from my home without consent. The 911 operator's voice came through clear and professional. Sir, can you describe the child? Marcus gave Elijah's description. Height. Weight. The small birthmark on his left shoulder blade. The operator stayed calm. Sir, we're dispatching units now. Can you tell me who took the child? Marcus looked directly at Catherine. His mother, Catherine Brennan. And a man named Rick. I don't have a last name. Catherine's confidence finally cracked. You can't do this. I'm his mother. I have rights. Marcus ended the call with dispatch. He dialed another number. His lawyer. David Chun answered on the first ring. Marcus? Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? Marcus spoke clearly, recording every word for the lawsuit he knew was coming. Catherine just confessed to planning my murder. Maria has it on tape. She also removed Elijah from the house without my knowledge or consent. I need you to file emergency custody papers. Now. Catherine lunged at Maria, trying to grab the phone. Marcus caught her around the waist. He wasn't gentle anymore. He held her until she stopped struggling. "You don't understand," Catherine sobbed. "I'm drowning in debt. Rick said this was the only way. He said you'd never know. He said we could be happy." Marcus felt something twist in his chest. Not sympathy. Recognition. He'd seen this before. Desperation. People who'd gamble everything on a lie. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Catherine seemed to realize it was over. She went limp in Marcus's arms. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry." Marcus let her go. She collapsed onto the floor, curled into herself. "Where did Rick take him?" Marcus kept his voice level. "I need to know where my son is." Catherine looked up at him. For the first time that day, she looked genuinely remorseful. His apartment. In East Point, 2247 Washington Road. Apartment 3C. Marcus was already moving. He called 911 back. Gave them the address. Told them about the potential kidnapping in progress. The operator assured him units were being dispatched. Marcus ran to his car. Maria followed. "I'm coming with you." She didn't ask. Marcus didn't argue. They peeled out of the driveway as two police cruisers pulled in. The drive to East Point took 12 minutes. Marcus broke every traffic law in existence. Maria held on to the door handle and prayed under her breath. Marcus's phone rang. David Chun. "Marcus, I've got a judge standing by. We'll have emergency custody papers within the hour, but you need to wait for the police. Don't do anything stupid." Marcus hung up. He wasn't waiting for anyone. The apartment building was a sagging 3-story complex with peeling paint and broken windows. Marcus parked in the fire lane. He and Maria ran up the exterior stairs to the 3rd floor. Apartment 3C was at the end. The door was closed. Marcus could hear music inside and a baby crying. Elijah, his son. His boy. Marcus didn't knock. He slammed his shoulder into the door. Once. Twice. On the 3rd hit, the frame splintered. The door crashed open. A man sat on a stained couch, late 30s, heavily tattooed, holding Elijah awkwardly like he'd never held a baby before. Elijah screamed. His face was red and tear-streaked. The man looked up as Marcus and Maria burst in. "Who the hell are you?" Marcus crossed the room in 3 strides. He grabbed Elijah from the man's arms. The baby's screams quieted immediately. He'd buried his tiny face in Marcus's neck. "I'm his father." Marcus's voice was deadly calm. The man stood. "Catherine said you weren't the father. She said I was. She said we made this kid." Marcus looked at him, really looked. The man's eyes were brown. Catherine's were blue. Elijah's eyes were dark hazel, just like Marcus's mother's had been. "When did you meet Catherine?" Marcus asked quietly. The man shifted uncomfortably. 9 months ago. We met at a bar. Marcus did the math. Elijah is 9 months old now, which means Catherine was already pregnant when you met her. The man's face went slack. "What?" Maria stepped forward. "She used you, just like she used Marcus. She needed someone to play the role of the other man, someone desperate enough to believe her lies." The man sat down hard. "She told me the kid was mine. She told me if I helped her, we'd split millions. She told me ... Police sirens screamed outside. Heavy footsteps pounded up the stairs. Officers burst through the broken door, weapons drawn. "Hands where we can see them." Marcus carefully raised one hand. The other cradled Elijah against his chest. "I'm Marcus Whitfield. I'm the one who called. This is my son. He was taken from my home without consent." This man was holding him. The lead officer lowered his weapon. Recognition flickered across his face. "Mr. Whitfield, we need you to step outside while we sort this out." Marcus walked out calmly. Maria followed. Downstairs, more police cars had arrived. Catherine sat in the back of one cruiser. Her hands were cuffed behind her back. She saw Marcus holding Elijah. She started crying again. Marcus felt nothing. A detective approached. Young, professional. "Mr. Whitfield, I'm Detective Sarah Williams. I need to take your statement." Marcus told her everything. Catherine's confession, the murder plot, the fake paternity claim, the kidnapping. Maria showed her the recording. Detective Williams listened without interrupting. When Marcus finished, she nodded slowly. "We'll need that recording as evidence. We'll also need you to come downtown to make a formal statement." Marcus looked down at Elijah. The baby had fallen asleep against his shoulder, exhausted from crying. "I need to make sure he's okay first. I'm taking him to the hospital." "Then I'll come in," Detective Williams agreed. "We'll have an officer escort you. For your protection and his." She glanced at the cruiser holding Catherine. "She's being charged with conspiracy to commit murder, attempted kidnapping, and fraud. The man upstairs, Rick Donovan, is being charged as an accomplice." Marcus drove to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta with a police escort. Maria sat in the back, keeping watch over Elijah. At the hospital, doctors examined the baby thoroughly. He was dehydrated and stressed, but otherwise unharmed. They gave him fluids and kept him for observation. Marcus refused to leave his side. He sat in the hospital room, holding Elijah's tiny hand while he slept in the medical crib. Maria brought coffee, strong and black, just how Marcus liked it. They sat in silence for a long time. Finally, Marcus spoke. "How did you know?" Maria sighed. "I've been around long enough to recognize a performance. Catherine was always performing, even when she thought no one was watching. About 3 weeks ago, I heard her on the phone late at night. She was in your study, talking about insurance policies and beneficiaries. I started paying closer attention." Marcus looked at her. "This woman who'd been part of his life for over 30 years. You saved my life. You saved Elijah's life." Maria patted his hand. "You're my family, Marcus. Both of you. I'd burn the world down before I let anyone hurt you." Marcus believed her. He'd never doubted Maria's loyalty. He should have trusted her judgment about Catherine from the beginning. She'd been skeptical from the start, polite but distant. Marcus had thought she was being overprotective. A nurse checked Elijah's vitals. He was healthy and could go home the next day. After she left, Marcus requested the DNA results he'd ordered months earlier. When the email arrived, his hands shook. Paternity, 99.99%. Marcus Whitfield is the biological father. Maria wasn't surprised. She said Elijah had his grandmother's eyes. Marcus laughed for the first time that day. 8 months later, Catherine Brennan went on trial for conspiracy, fraud, and attempted kidnapping. Evidence was overwhelming. Recordings, financial records, her forged $5 million insurance policy, and her searches for untraceable poisons. The jury found her guilty. She received 25 years. Rick Donovan got 15. As she was taken away, Catherine whispered that she once loved him. Marcus walked out silently with Elijah. Life slowly rebuilt. Marcus restructured his work, witnessed every milestone, and formally adopted Maria as his mother. 2 years later, he met Dr. Simone Carter, Elijah's pediatrician kind, steady, uninterested in his wealth. He protected himself legally, but Simone earned his trust. After 3 years, they married in a small ceremony. Elijah was the proud ring-bearer. Years later, Catherine sent a brief letter apologizing. Marcus stored it away. His life was full now: Elijah's laughter, Simone's warmth, Maria's love. At Elijah's 6th birthday at the aquarium, Marcus watched his son glow with joy. "That's the point," he said. Good memories. Enough to leave no room for the bad. That night after the party, Marcus sat by Elijah's bed, watching his son sleep. Maria appeared at the door, telling him he'd done well. Sitting in the old rocking chair, she reminded him his mother would have been proud. He'd become a strong, kind man who chose family over everything. Marcus hugged her, calling her Mama for the first time. Years passed. Elijah grew into a thoughtful, curious boy. Marcus never hid his story from him, and when Elijah finally heard the full truth, he simply said, "You're my dad." "That's what matters," Marcus cried with pride. He updated his will and created the Whitfield Foundation to help parents in custody battles. The foundation quickly grew, reuniting families and protecting children. One day he met Destiny Brooks, a mother losing her daughter because she couldn't afford a lawyer. Marcus gave her legal help and hope. She won custody, later sending Marcus a photo of her and her daughter smiling, his favorite victory. When Elijah turned 12, he asked to meet Catherine. The visit brought closure, not forgiveness. Elijah told her he only needed answers, then walked away with strength Marcus had taught him. That night, surrounded by family, Marcus knew they had survived, healed, and built something unbreakable.